Hello everyone, today we are going to review linear equations. There's three different ways to write an equation for a line. The first type is going to be the slope-intercept form. The y equals mx plus b. M is also the same as slope, and the b is the same thing is y-intercept. And that's the most popular one you guys have seen. To start off with the y equals mx plus b, I want you to think about this is slope, so therefore we will have an m, and intercept, that means b. So that is the form of y equals mx plus b. The m is always going to be for the x. The first thing we're going to just practice, can you tell me what is the m, what is the b? And there are 6 problems. The first one, just to get you guys started off, that is the number before x, and that is going to be a positive 3. If there's a negative, you know you're supposed to write down negative. That's a positive 3. And b is going to be the one that does not have any letters attached to it. So this is b. So 5, positive 5 is going to be b. It has to be y equals mx plus b. Y has to be on one side. So now pause the video, try to finish example 1 and check back with your answers. Only thing I want to mention is the letter F tells you y equals negative 5. And if you remember when we graph it, negative 5 is the line down here. And because that's crossing y-axis at negative 5, so the line is going to be crossing y-axis at negative 5, okay? And then because of that, that is going to be a horizontal line, and therefore the slope is 0, and the y-intercept is negative 5. If they ever ask for x-intercept, it should be none, just so you guys know that. And also D is another tricky one. Notice there's no number just by itself. So since there's no number by itself, it's going to be 0. Okay, that's the first type of equation we are talking about, slope-intercept form. Going on to the second one. Second one is point-slope form. And that one is one I'm not sure how much you guys have used before. So that should be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now when you have that, make sure you understand this. I would like you guys to write down, this is as a letter, and this is a number. Then this is also a number, and this is also stays a letter, and that is a number. So where are those numbers coming from? The m is the slope, and the x1 comma y1 is the point. I'm gonna color it for you. This is your x1, and this is your y1. Please make sure you understand the y goes first. All right, and then whatever the sign should stay as negative. That doesn't mean x1 and y1 cannot be negative. So please make sure you understand that. Okay, we are going to have asked you to graph. We are going to ask you to identify those numbers for the point and slope. All right, going on to the next examples 2. Identify the slope and the point in each following linear equations. Now this is called the point-slope form. Now why is a point? Well, we have a point x1, y1 right here. That's the x1, y1. Not x and y, x1, y1. And there's your m. And that's why it's called point-slope form. You have a point, you have a slope. Now what we're going to do is we are going to give you the equation, and we want you to extract the point and the slope. So the slope is really easy. I show you on the equation, m is representing the slope. Your m is going to be the 3 right here. That is your slope. Then the next thing is going to be your point. Now notice the point. The point is actually the opposite sign of negative 4. The negative 4 is going to become a positive 4, but it's going to be the y. So that's y1. And notice there's a positive 3. It's going to be a negative 3. Just switch the sign. So that's going to be a negative 3 and a positive 4. In this case, what you're going to do is you are extracting the number and changing the sign. And the reason for that is I hope you guys understand. It's really negative a positive 4. That's why the negative sign will give you the negative sign right here. That will give you the negative sign. Negative positive give you a negative 4. Then this is really minus a negative 3, and that's going to give you the positive 3. And this negative sign goes right here. And that's why you kind of extract your negative, and by extracting the negative, you are changing your sign. So I'm going to erase that so you don't get too confused. But this is the reason. I hope you understand that, and I hope you guys listen to the video so you know. Let me erase that. And then, that's why it changed the sign for the points. Now, don't forget, your X goes first. You guys do B and D, but I want to explain C. Now, C is a little bit different. Notice there's nothing next to Y. And because it's nothing next to Y, that is going to be 0. Your slope is going to be 2 over 3, but your point is going to be opposite side of the x. Notice if there's an x, the number is attached to x. Okay, so that's negative 5. So because there's no number next to y, we're going to put down 0. So your point is negative 5, 0. And then please finish B and D and check back with your answer. And there's the answer for B and D. Going on the standard form is what they call it ax plus by equals c. And a, b, and c are numbers. And what you're going to do is to work through standard form, you are going to change the form to y equals mx plus b. All right. And the reason we do that is that way you can extract the slope, you can extract the y-intercept, so you can graph it, and you can figure out where is the next point is going to be located, and you will be able to tell me what's slope and what's y-intercept. Going through the example, this is going to be your a, the 4x, the 4 is your a, that's a number. B is going to be your positive 2, that's another number. C is 8, that's another number. So those are numbers, A, B, and C, and X, Y is your letters. Now 2, tell me on the example 3, rewrite the following equation to solve for Y. Then state the slope and y-intercept. The way you're going to do it is you're going to get Y by itself. So because we are trying to get Y by itself, the ones that does not have the correct letter attached to it, we are going to move it. And to move a positive 4x, we are going to minus 4x on both sides. And that's going to be 2y. We are getting y by itself. Now, if you want to put it in proper order, you can write down negative 4x plus a. And then you can divide by 2. Now, I will prefer you guys divide by 2 all the way across, so you don't forget to divide by 2 on one of them. That's y equals negative 2x plus 4. Right here, if you write it as 2y equals 8 minus 4x, it's not wrong. You just have to be able to identify where your slope, where is your y-intercept. And that's y equals 4 minus 2x. Now understand, the number in front of the x with the sign is going to be your slope. So right here, that's your slope. You can totally do that. And so therefore, your y-intercept is going to be 4, and your slope is going to be negative 2. The same problem shows up like the other one. So once you filled it out, the slope is negative 2. Now, I also want you guys to remember negative 2 is also the same thing, is negative 2 over 1 or 2 over negative 1. Depends you run out the paper on your graph or not. And then y-intercept is just 4. And then please pause and do the next 3 problems, B, C, D. Please double check your answer. This is what we have. For letter B, m is 2, b is negative 5. For letter C, m is 2, b is 6. For letter D, m is negative 5 over 3, and b is negative 2. Next one, remember if it's red, you gotta jot it down. So graphing linear equations by hand. 1. First, plot a point, y-intercept or another point on the line. In this case, point slope form, I have given you a point. Even though that's not at the y-axis, it's a point. So use that point. 2. From the plotted point, rise is up and down, overrun, that's the slope, written in fraction form. So if it's 2, it's 2 over 1. So now let's graph them. Example 4, I would like you to write down m equals 2, the point is equal to opposite of the x, which is negative 3, and then it's going to be opposite the y1, which is going to be, that's a negative 4, so it's positive 4. And then the way we're going to graph it is we are going to start with negative 3 and 4. So negative 3, 1, 2, 3, positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's our first point. And then we are going to go slope. So that's up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1 is right there. And up 2 over 1 is right there. And there is your line. That's how you graph a point slope form. I hope that's not too difficult. Let's try another one. Okay, this is just a slope. Letter B. This is A. This is A. Letter B. Letter D, B, you should recognize that's a slope-intercept form. I hope you slope-intercept form. So M is going to be 3 over 4, and B is going to be negative 4. And once you do that, you can pretty much say, hey, this is X, and that's Y axis. And B, I like to tell everybody, B for beginning, that's where you start. That's at negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then up by 3 over to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And then I will do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Then you can do the other way, but I'm just going to try to pick out the points. 1, 2, 3. And then just line it up for myself. And then there's my line. Then the next one the next one is going to be the next one is kind of similar, so I would like you guys to practice. Pause the video, practice it, and check. There's the answer for letter C. M is negative 3, point is negative 1, negative 2. Opposite of the x, opposite of the y. Then the next one, the slope is 3 over 5, and the 1 is B. Now I also want to remind you guys one more thing is, don't forget your slope can also have positive 3 over 5, but that also means negative 3, negative 5. If you ran off the graph paper on one side, you can always go the other side to pick up more points, so you'll have more points to line up. Okay? Going down to the next, example E. Now example E is the standard form. So to do example E, we need to change that into slope-intercept form. And I hope you guys remember and extract your slope and your y-intercept. Please pause the videos and then check back with the E and F. Please double check letter E and letter F. There's the answer and there's the graph. Now, moving on to calculator and word problems. Example 5. Michaela put $212 in a saving account at the beginning of the year. At the end of each month, she withdrew $12 from her account. Matthew puts $30 in his saving account at the beginning of the year. At the end of each month, he deposits $14 in his account. The first thing says, let X represent the number of months which have passed, and Y represent the amount in each saving account. Make sure you keep that in mind. X is the number of the month. Y is the amount that's in the account. A. Write an equation to represent the amount in Michaela's saving account. Michaela's saving account is going to be Y because that's the total. Michaela put $212 in the saving account in the beginning. So that means you're going to start at $212. But every month she withdraw $12. That's something per month. That's the slope, something per something. So that's going to be minus, because withdraw means taking money away, $12 from her account per month. So X is the month. So it's going to be $12 per month. So she starts at $212 and she starts taking off $12 per month. And X represents month and Y is representing how much is left. All right, next one. Write an equation to represent the amount Matthew saving in Matthew's saving account. Well, the Matthew saving account, if you read it, Matthew put $30 in his checking account at the beginning of the year. At each month, he deposited $14 in his account. So the total for Matthew is going to be Y equals, the beginning is $30. Then he's going to deposit $14 in his account every single month. And those are your two equations. Okay. And then they say use technology to figure out how to enter the table. Okay. So here's the technology part. On a TI-84, I'm going to show you how to get the table so you don't have to figure out the problem one number at a time. So to do that, what you're going to do is you are going to go to Y equal. Now make sure everything in here is all clean and double check, scroll down the equations. You don't have anything else there. And what you're going to do is you're also going to go to second step plot. You are going to turn off all of them. Okay, so go ahead, do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is going to go to Y equal and enter the first equation. And the first equation is going to be Y equals 221 minus 12x. We are going to go to the table. See the blue line numbers right there? Second table. Look at that. So now they want it in month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are going to scroll down and start with positive. Is there something else I can do to make sure it doesn't start with my negative number? Yes. You can actually go to table, set, not window. Okay. So if you look at table set, right here starts at 1. That's where you can change it instead of having a negative number. You can actually ask, input and output, and just get the number exactly. So that's where you can start changing your starting point on your table. Okay, so let's go back to the table. So 1 is that, and copy those down. So I'm going to pause the video and then you guys can copy down the number. This is the number I have. I want you guys double check that you get the same thing. And now I would like you guys to erase that equation, the first equation, and then enter the second one and see can you get Matthew's number. Try that right now. That is the number I have for Matthew. So now the next question says, use technology. Well, we done the technology. It gives us the number of the first 8 months. Use that information to complete the table below. So we done that. So D says, when will McCaleb and Matthew have the same amount in their accounts? If you guys look at it, it's actually right here. Number 7. So in month 7, they both will have the same amount in their account. So let's write that down. In 7 months, McCaleb and Matthew will have the same amount in their accounts. That concludes today's notes. Thank you so much for watching.